Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. I'm a home educating mum of 4. Today's video, I'm filming this in my office / craft room. Today's video is a what worked for us this past year, what we will carry on with, and what our plans are for the 2025-2026 school year. So I will start with my 8-year-old because she does fewer subjects than my bigger one. Sorry, celebrity. So what worked really well for us this year was this. She loves it. She has autism and combined type ADHD, and this is fantastic. It gets her moving, it gets her using stuff. She can bounce around and do what she needs to do while we're doing it, and she loves it. This is so good. I recommend this wholeheartedly. So we'll be carrying on and doing Maths 3 in our school year this year. We've got a couple of pages to finish in here, but once we're finished in here, we'll be getting Maths 3. And obviously it comes with a box, all the bits and pieces you need in it. I've done a flick through and review of this curriculum on my channel, and I can't recommend it highly enough, especially if your kids are neurodivergent. What else worked for us was this. Again, we've got a few pages left to fill, and then we'll be going on to Language Arts 3, which I have in the other room, and I'll do a flick through on before we start using it. Again, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Short lessons, punchy, to the point. Her knowledge, understanding of maths and English is so deep, and I put that down to the good and the beautiful. Their lessons are fantastic. Science, I actually haven't got. We've got mammals. I don't know what's on the front of that. We've got mammals. They both have. We're part of the way through mammals. We haven't finished it yet, and that's something else we'll get finished at the beginning of the school year and then move on. We did mammals and we did space science, and they were both fantastic. I learned so much about space. My 8-year-old is obsessed. Space is her specialist subject. You know, if you're going to learn about anything, she wants to learn about space. So and it's brilliant. So the space science curriculum, fantastic. Thoroughly recommend that. What we've done in mammals so far, I thoroughly recommend that. I think this coming year they have picked to do birds and dinosaurs, which kind of tie together really well. So we're going to do that for science, for the both of them to do together, because they share the good and the beautiful science. And then my older one has extra science because he's 14, so he needs extra science. But to do a deep dive on something is so awesome. And then we do like trips to back it up and stuff. So we've been to the zoo for mammals, which they loved and I loved. I got to see the orangutans, and I love orangutans. So yeah, we love it. And I've got this beautiful test. What I'm looking at, I've got a beautiful teddy that my husband bought me at the zoo because it was just so cute. It was so cute. Let me show you. Isn't he adorable? He's so sweet. I love Discworld, and one of my favourite characters is the librarian, who's an orangutan. So yeah, I'm just going to leave him sat there. Next, she enjoyed geography. We used this series of books. We haven't finished, but essentially we read the book and then we visit the country that he's in, and we learn about the country. We learn about what the country's called, what their language is called. We learn 10 words, the same 10 words for every country. We learn about their currency, we learn about landmarks, just all the sort of the same things we learn about each country. So they sort of like get a base knowledge of each country, capital city, that kind of thing. This has worked really well. They've really enjoyed it. Reading the book while the boy cycles the world and then researching each country, so good. Thoroughly recommend it. So these things all worked really well. Also, she's beyond these now, but she still enjoys playing with them. These were from Fiddlesticks. She really enjoyed using these. We're beyond them, but again, it's like cards where you have like labels for the continents and the oceans, and she has to put them in the right place on here. And yeah, she's just so good at it. But she still enjoys playing with it, so I'm never going to turn down a bit of educational time that she enjoys. And the other thing that works really well are these from The Good and the Beautiful. So with the curriculums come these, one of the curriculums comes these geography cards. There's oceans and continents. And then, oh good, that's broken. There we go. So you have a card, and I just say to the children, what country is this? And they'll tell me. And then I'll say, what's the capital city? And they'll tell me. And then I tell them if they're right. And this goes for the whole of Europe. We also have these for the American states and for Canada and Australia. But at the moment, we're just doing Europe. And their knowledge of European countries, looking at a map, where they are. Because a few years ago, I realised that my geography knowledge was lacking as to where other countries were in relation to the UK. So I thought, let's give them a really good base knowledge so they can look at a map and go, oh, there's France, there's Spain, there's Italy. And they can point to a map and know where everything is. And then know basic information about each country. So these, so good for that. So yeah, that's worked really well. They know so many capital cities. It's really impressive. So do I now. And then another thing that's worked really well is she is currently obsessed with this series of books. So she reads these to me. At the moment we're reading Emerald. And it's, you know, it's pretty good. So what works really, because she gets, I think she's dyslexic, but I haven't had her tested for that yet. So what we do is she reads a page, I read a page, she reads a page, I read a page. That way she can work through a book quicker, she can enjoy the story more, it's less hard work, it's less tiring. So that's what we do. We do take in turns, and that way she still gets loads of reading, and she gets to enjoy her books and finish her books. So I recommend these. They're really good. So she's enjoying those. And then the last thing that's worked really well is she started watching the Harry Potter movies. So we're reading this together as our class book. So she enjoys this. So I'm reading this to them, and they play with the dog, they doodle, they draw, that kind of thing. And that's worked really well. I say last thing, I forgot. We also, what's worked really well is we do art using YouTube tutorials. So they wanted to learn how to draw cartoons. So they have a folder like this one, and we get plain paper. Sorry, I just knocked my gimbal. We get plain paper, and they then follow a tutorial on YouTube and do that. And the other thing we do for art is we do stop motion videos, and they really enjoy creating the idea, what it's going to be about, what props they're going to use. We did one of I printed out an entire skeleton and then laminated it and put it in a folder. It was from Twinkle. And then what I did was cut out all the laminations, so it's like it's bone shapes and you know, skull shapes and the rest of it. And then they did a stop motion of the skeleton coming together, all the different bones walking away across the floor to come together to make the skeleton, and then the bones walking away again to explode the skeleton back out. It was really cool. That was like one of the first ones we ever did. And there's loads of good apps you can use to do stop motion, and they can put them on the phone, and then they put them on either my gimbal or the selfie stick, and then they can just do the stop motion. Really good. They really enjoy it. So that's a really good kind of creative arty thing to do. So we do drawing and we do stop motion. I'm just looking at my list to make sure I don't forget anything. The other thing that works really well is we do partnership writing. So because she's got ADHD, writing to her is the most boring thing on the planet. She can write, she writes really well, and if she wants to write, she uses a whiteboard and whiteboard pen. That's better for her grip. So, I mean, we have all the fandangled triangle pens and adapters and birdie beak grippy things that go on. I showed those in my stationery video. But partnership writing, she tells me what to write and I write it down for her. And then every now and again, she'll just take the pencil out of my hand and she will do the writing. But she has to be in the mood. So to encourage her to do school, we do partnership writing. And that works really well. She's really engaged. She learns loads. We've just started doing fractions with the Good and the Beautiful. And, you know, it's in her head straight away. And that's because she can just dictate what she wants me to write, and that works really well. So if you've got a reluctant writer, or a writer's like we are hypermobile, so you know that's not a comfortable position and your hand gets tired really, really fast. So if you've got a reluctant writer or you're hypermobile and writing hurts and things like that, totally recommend partnership writing because it engages your child, gets them to do school without that pressure of writing. And she can write, she writes really well, her writing's lovely, but she doesn't need to. And she still enjoys school. So whatever works. And then the thing that didn't work so well, the thing she really didn't enjoy and she found really dry was this. She just did not enjoy it. I could not get her engaged with it. It was, you know, it's too kind of, it's just not fun. So this school year, I'm hoping to be able to try the Good and the Beautiful history with her because she really engages with the Good and the Beautiful. So yeah, that's something I'm hoping to be able to get hold of shortly. So when hopefully I'll put in an order to get her next maths, 2 science and the history. Hopefully that will be very shortly. And when I do get that, I'll do a unboxing and show you what it's like. But as she engages so well with everything else Good and the Beautiful, I just figured, well, let's try that. So, sorry, I've just washed my hair and part of it's wet and part of it's dry and it's annoying. So yeah, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to engage her with some kind of history learning with that. We've tried all sorts of different things. Like we do use paw print badges and they work quite well. I've actually got to put an order in and get, because they get, you can order material badges and then sew them to a blanket. And they're owed one for doing a project on France with this, and a couple of others for other things. And when I order those and get them, I'll show you them. But we do that, and they also do them for history. So we've been doing one on the Victorians, and we've been visiting like local national trusts and backing up like how the Victorian children played and what they used, and we made some of the Victorian toys and things like that. So that way I can engage her, but using this, no, she's not interested. And then the other thing we're going to start doing, which we haven't started yet, but we did do for a bit last year. She doesn't like the rain. She's not a rain kind of child. We're going to use Exploring Nature with Children again, and we're going to do it with our friends. So we're going to do it as kind of like a collaboration thing. And we're going to try some history that way as well by going out to our local national trust and then getting the children to work through paw print badges to try and engage them a bit more, make it a bit more fun. But yeah, so we're going to try that as a group. So that should be fun. Hopefully engage her a bit more. Yeah, so that's what worked really well for my youngest. She's 8. Like I say, she has multiple neurodivergence. So if your child is neurodivergent, I do recommend trying the Good and the Beautiful. You can get maths and English for free and download and print them yourself, or you can send them to Pingles. He does a beautiful job. This one is printed by Pingles. I did not bind this myself, but he does a beautiful job with, like, you know, the pages are thick and glossy paper, and yeah, I recommend that. And it's quite cheap. I think that was 20. There's 2 of these, and I think it was about £25 for both of them delivered, so worth it. Saved me a bunch of time as well, and I broke my binding machine, so you know. Yeah, so I'll do a separate video for my older one because this has got quite long. But yeah, so that's what worked. And then what's coming up is we're going to be doing Maths 3, Language Arts 3. We're going to finish mammals, do birds, do paleontology for science, carry on with The Boy Who Biked the World, further books, carry on using the maps, carry on reading, working our way through the rest of the Harry Potters. get the rest of these from the library, and then hopefully do Good and Beautiful History. Yeah, and carry on with our stop motion and YouTube videos for art. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.